The streets of Tachikawa City trembled under the weight of destruction. The air thick with the acrid stench of burning rubble and the metallic tang of kaiju blood at 4:22 p.m. Central European Summertime on Thursday, September 11, 2025. Haru, a lean 19-year-old with jet-black hair streaked with ash and a jagged scar across his jaw, moved cautiously through the debris, his hands gripping a battered combat knife slick with green ichor. A rookie in the Defense Force's 3rd Division, Haru had joined after a kaiju attack leveled his hometown, leaving his younger sister's bloodstained doll as his only memento. The memory drove him forward, a silent promise to crush every monster in his path. A sharp crackle of static broke the silence as Kafka Hibino's voice crackled through the comms, his gruff tone cutting through the chaos. "Haru, you there? Stay sharp. Got a big one incoming." Before Haru could respond, the ground split open and a kaiju emerged. A towering beast with a carapace of jagged bone and tendrils dripping with corrosive slime, its roar shaking the shattered buildings. Its multifaceted eyes locked onto Haru, and it charged, its claws carving trenches into the asphalt. Haru dove aside, his knife slashing at a tendril, the blade sinking into flesh with a wet squelch. Green blood sprayed, sizzling as it hit the ground, and the kaiju retaliated, its claw grazing his side, tearing through his suit and drawing a hiss of pain as blood seeped from the wound. Kafka transformed, his kaiju number 8 form erupting with a surge of power, his fists smashing into the beast's chest, sending shards of bone and gore flying. "Keep moving, kid!" he bellowed, dodging a swipe that crushed a water tower, water and blood mixing in a chaotic flood. Haru pushed forward, his knife carving deeper, the kaiju's blood burning his hands as he hacked at its legs. Reno Ichikawa joined the fray, his precision strikes with a plasma rifle blasting holes in the creature's hide, green ichor erupting in fountains. The kaiju lashed out, its tendril wrapping around Haru's leg, yanking him into the air. Blood rushed to his head as he slashed free, the blade severing the appendage in a spray that coated him in slime and gore. Kafka finished with a devastating punch, the kaiju's head exploding in a shower of bone and flesh, its body collapsing in a steaming heap. Gasping, Haru wiped the ichor from his face, the taste bitter on his tongue, only to see Kafka grinning through his monstrous maw. "Not bad for a rookie. Let's get you patched up after we report." Back at the Defense Force base, Haru sat with Reno and Kakoru Shinomiya, the tension easing as they shared a meal of military rations, the metallic clink of utensils a stark contrast to the battlefield's roar. Kakoru's sharp wit lightened the mood, but the respite was short-lived. A report came in. Mutilated Defense Force soldiers, their bodies torn apart by a kaiju with a human collaborator. Suspicion fell on Captain Tatsumi, a veteran whose recent orders had grown erratic, his eyes glinting with an unnatural sheen. Confronting Tatsumi in a deserted hangar, the air heavy with the scent of oil and blood, Haru demanded answers. The tension snapped as Tatsumi's arm morphed, revealing kaiju flesh pulsing with veins. "You're a liability," he growled, lunging with a claw that dripped with green slime. "The hive kaiju promised me power. Your death ensures it." The fight was a brutal ballet of steel and flesh. Tatsumi's claw clashed with Haru's knife, sparks flying as blood sprayed from a gash on Haru's arm, the wound stinging with every move. Tatsumi unleashed a wave of corrosive tendrils, one piercing Haru's shoulder, blood and slime mingling as he staggered, his vision blurring. With a roar, Haru summoned his combat training, slashing across Tatsumi's chest, green blood gushing in a torrent. Kafka burst in, his kaiju number 8 form tearing through Tatsumi's mutated arm, the traitor collapsing in a heap of gore, his final breath a wet gurgle. Days later, the hive kaiju struck with relentless fury, its presence a pulsating green miasma over Tachikawa. Haru fought alongside Kafka, Reno, and Kakoru, the city a war zone of shattered steel and kaiju carnage. The beast, a sprawling mass of writhing tendrils and snapping jaws, tore through a convoy, its claws disemboweling a soldier, entrails spilling in a grotesque pile. Green blood rained, mixing with the dust, coating Haru's face as he pressed on. His side wound reopened, blood streaming down his leg in a warm trickle, but he gritted his teeth and moved. Kafka's fists pounded the kaiju, sending chunks of flesh flying, while Reno's rifle blasted its eyes, eliciting a howl that vibrated through the air. Kikoru's suit-enhanced strikes smashed a tendril, green ichor erupting in a gory fountain. Haru leapt, his knife digging into its core, tearing out a pulsating mass that pulsed with cursed energy. Blood gushed, drenching him, but the kaiju regenerated, its laughter a guttural rasp. In a desperate move, Haru channeled his resolve, offering his blood to fuel a makeshift explosive from his gear, the pain sharpening his focus as the blast rocked the beast. He clawed deeper with his knife, ripping the core free, and Kafka finished with a full-power strike, the kaiju exploding in a shower of slime and bone, the shockwave knocking Haru to his knees. The team stood battered and soaked, the street a green swamp, their breaths heavy with survival. In the aftermath, Haru sat in the base infirmary, bandaged and exhausted, the sterile scent of antiseptic clashing with the kaiju blood still caking his skin. Kafka plopped beside him, offering a protein bar with a gruff chuckle. "You've got guts, kid. You're one of us now." Haru smiled weakly, the weight of blood on his hands a constant reminder, his resolve pulsing with a dark promise of more battles. Weeks later, Haru stood on a rooftop, watching Tachikawa's scarred skyline as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the ruined city. Reno approached, lighting a cigarette, the flame briefly illuminating his stern face. "You've proven yourself," he said, exhaling smoke. "But this fight, it's a chain you can't escape." Haru nodded, his scars a map of his journey, the faint hum of kaiju in the distance a harbinger of the carnage to come. With Kafka's strength and Kikoru's precision, he was bound to this bloody war forever.